YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video, and we got patch notes. So as you can see here on the official Pokemon Unite website, they just posted this. It was like 5 minutes ago. So I'm recording it. It's like, what time is it? 10 p.m. My other video just went live, so I uploaded it late, but now I'm recording another one, baby. So right here, Pokemon Unite game update. It'll be performed on August 4th, 12 a.m. PDT, 7 UTC. So go ahead and convert that to your time zone. That is the planned date and time. You just got to restart the app on your device to apply the update. We got bug fixes, text fixes, and the spectate feature is actually getting a test release, which is really cool. I've always thought that this game would look really nice with a spectate feature, especially if they want to go more into the competitive tournament / esports scene. Spectate feature is going to be definitely needed. And there is a long list of Pokemon that got buffs, nerfs, bug fixes. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. So all these changes are being made to adjust the balance of Unite battles. Starting up first, we have Charizard. His flamethrower, the cooldown is being reduced. We don't have any sort of numbers on any of these where, like, if it's cooldown reduced, doesn't tell us by how much. If attacks are buffed or nerfed, doesn't tell us by how much exactly. But we do know his cooldown is being reduced and the effects on opposing Pokemon are strengthened. This is a solid buff to flamethrower. Fire Punch, effects on opposing Pokemon strengthened. Another buff. Fire Blast, cooldown reduced, effects on opposing Pokemon strengthened. Another solid buff. Charizard all around, 3 crazy good buffs on 3 crazy good moves. Next up, we have Talonflame, a Pokemon that I rarely run into. Acrobatics, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. That's a buff. Aerial Ace, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. Another buff. Aerial Ace Plus does even more damage. And then Fly, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. Talonflame, another Pokemon we're getting buffs across the board. This is very exciting. Hopefully I get to see some more Talonflame. Hopefully when I make a Talonflame guide, it won't be too hard on me because Talonflame is kind of in a stinky spot right now. Next up, we have Venusaur. With the Sludge Bomb, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon is increased and the effects on the opposing Pokemon are strengthened. A solid buff to a great move that I feel like everybody runs on Venusaur anyway. Giga Drain is good, but I think Sludge Bomb is better. Petal Dance gets a move upgrade. I'm not sure exactly what move upgrade means. Solar Beam, the cooldown is reduced. That's cool. The Unite move Verdant Anger deals even more damage to opposing Pokemon. I feel like it already does a sizable amount of damage as a 9 out of 10 or 4.5 out of 5-star offense Pokemon. So that's a good buff right there. Venusaur getting some good changes. Next up with Absol, we got basic attack bug fixes. Night Slash is going to be doing increased damage to opposing Pokemon, and Sucker Punch is going to be doing increased damage to opposing Pokemon. So if you guys have been feeling sort of oppressed by Absol, it looks like it's getting a little bit worse. I don't think Absol is nearly as bad as Gengar in the current meta, but, I mean, there's not even really a meta, but Absol is still pretty strong in the hands of the right user. So having these buffs and bug fixes on your basic, I mean, good job, Absol players. I'm proud of you guys. Next up, we got Wigglytuff. Following stats have been increased. Defense, special defense, and HP. Look for Wigglytuff to be even harder to kill. If you guys have ran into Wigglytuff at all, I've ran into him a couple times, not too often. Hopefully this brings Wigglytuff more into the spotlight of Pokemon Unite. Double Slap. The damage dealt to opposing Pokemon is increased and the effects on opposing Pokemon is strengthened. More CC and more damage on Wigglytuff. That's a buff. Seeing the effects on Pokemon are strengthened. So maybe they're, falling asleep for longer. That is a good buff. And we got some bug fixes for Dazzling Gleam. So all in all, a big Wigglytuff buff. We have not seen a single Pokemon really nerfed yet. But next up, we got Eldegoss. Eldegoss's Cotton Guard, the cooldown is lengthened and the HP restoration is decreased. So this is a nerf on Eldegoss. Being one of the only viable supports, I feel like they're doing this to make the other supports a little bit more viable because an Eldegoss player can dish out a ton of healing and really truly oppress the lane. On the other hand, your Cotton Spore, the cooldown is reduced, the effects on opposing Pokemon are strengthened, and the move's defense and special defense increase has been strengthened, so Cotton Spore gets an all-around buff. And we move on to the Unite move Cotton Cloud Crash. The HP restoration is decreased. Again, another nerf, basically just HP regain, like healing nerfs across the board for Eldegoss to try to put her more in line with the other support Pokemon that are not being played nearly as much. That's why we saw a buff to Wigglytuff. Next up, we have Cinderace. The following stats have been decreased. Attack. So just overall, the attack on Cinderace has been knocked down a peg, which is good. It is a much needed nerf. Cinderace is probably the top tier attacker in the game. probably a little too overtuned compared to the other ones. So I like this change a lot. Next up, we have Blaze Kick. Damage dealt to opposing Pokemon is decreased. Faint gets a move downgrade. So we've now seen move upgrade and downgrade. I'm not sure entirely what that means. If you guys have any idea, let everybody else know down in the comment section below. If I do find out, I'll put it in the description. But for now, I'm not sure what that means at all. One good thing Cinderace players can rejoice about is that the damage dealt to opposing Pokemon is increased when you use Pyro Ball. So maybe you run Pyro Ball more now instead. But there you go. Cinderace basically gets a nerf. Basically getting nerfed. No, like Pyro Ball is getting an upgrade in damage, but this is all in all a nerf to Cinderace. You love to see it. Gengar, basic attack bug fixes. That's, you know, could be seen as a buff. Shadow Ball, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increase. So this change is meant to get people, I guess, away from the Hex and Toxic sort of combo that's plaguing the game right now. So I like that change. Hex is getting a move downgrade and Dream Eater is getting a move upgrade. Again, not sure what this means, but whenever I hear down, I think nerf, and when I hear up, I think buff. So it looks like they're buffing Shadow Ball and Dream Eater and nerfing Hex. So all in all, that is a solid, not even, it's not entirely a nerf, but you know, Gengar's been oppressing everybody with Hex. So I see this as a great nerf. And maybe people start running his other moves and seeing, you know, how Gengar can play that sort of way. Next up, Zeraora. Spark gets some bug fixes. Wild Charge gets increased damage dealt to opposing Pokemon with a reduced cooldown. And the Unite move Plasma Gale is getting a decrease in the damage dealt to opposing Pokemon. So all in all, you get your Spark bug fixes and Wild Charge doing increased damage with reduced cooldown. Plasma Gale did seem a little bit overtuned. I think Zeraora is going to be fine. I don't think this is really a nerf or a buff. I kind of just feel like it was some good tweaking. He probably will stay at the level he's at currently. Cramorant's Whirlpool is dealing decreased damage while the Dive is dealing increased damage. This might just be because nobody runs Dive on Cramorant and everybody runs Whirlpool. This could just be to try and mix that up a little bit. I don't know how much it's going to help because Whirlpool knocking up enemies as well. CC is insane in this game. I'm not sure if that's really going to change too much. Just depends on how much the damage has changed. Next up, Machamp. We got basic attack bug fixes. Cross Chop dealing less damage to opposing Pokemon, but Close Combat dealing increased damage to opposing Pokemon. So it looks like just another Cramorant issue where they're trying to make people use other moves. Cross Chop, though, giving you the increased critical hit ratios while you're running Scoplins, as well as like Muscle Band and Float Stone. Cross Chop is a solid like staple move in that sort of build. So unless the damage decrease is significant, I don't think there's going to be much of a change here. Machamp seems pretty much the same. Next up on Lucario, we just got bug fixes on Power Up Punch and Bone Rush. So probably just like a slight buff. Greninja, basic attack bug fixes. And Alolan Ninetales gets bug fixes on Snow Warning. So just a couple bug fixes to round out the bunch, but overall, it seems like we get some pretty good nerfs and buffs here in this very first major patch to Pokemon Unite. I'm super excited. Let me know, guys, what you think of these changes down in the comment section below. If you're excited for the changes, if you're glad that they're doing something about the oppressiveness of Gengar, if you like that Charizard is getting a buff because as a staple Pokemon in the franchise, you'd feel like he'd be stronger. And he's been pretty shit since the game released, especially when they nerfed Muscle Band on him. So having these changes on Charizard, this is probably the highlight of the whole patch for me, other than the Gengar nerfs. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this whole thing down in the comment section below. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're hot on the road to 300 subs, currently sitting at 220. Love you guys. Peace out.